Step 1, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Y'all, I am having some major audio issues. I don't know what's going on. I freaking am starting to get so fed up with StreamYard. It's not even funny. So I'm going to have to take the rest of the day today and probably most likely change us all over to Restream. I've just about had it with StreamYard. I can't deal with it anymore. I've got major audio issues, dumping audio. It's causing production problems. I have been behind the scenes the whole time during the intro trying to fix the issue. It looks like it may be resolved now. I have no clue. So I'm just tired of the inability of StreamYard to maintain production. So I can't trust it anymore. It's been like this for months and they haven't fixed it. But that's not the point of us being here. We're here because we've been covering the case of Sebastian Rogers. A 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from his home, literally in Hendersonville, Tennessee, from inside his home. There's no evidence that he left his home. We've been talking about a lot of stuff. I had an opportunity to obviously get Seth on the record. We had an interview with him on Thursday. I thought it went really, really well. For the most part, we learned a lot of information about it. At the end of the day, I think he's a normal father. Okay. A father that isn't perfect, that makes mistakes with his first child, that's probably done some things that normal families deal with, period. Normal families deal with. And anybody that sits there and shames this man for being a normal father, I got nothing to say to you. I don't know what to say. If it's disrespectful, it's disrespectful. But we all have families. We all have parents. Our parents were never perfect. This man's missing his son. He's been out there, boots on the ground, trying to find his son or any information related to his son. That to me is a good dad. Much different, polar opposite than the mother, the one that actually gave birth to this child, and her husband, that seem like they are living their best life ever, while this man is sitting in a quiet home in the dark, crying his eyes out every night for his son. Much different, much different. So like all those people, like J is for Justice, that wants to sit there and say because this man called some dog a mutt that he must not want to find his son, is disgusting to me. Is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. This is a searcher that chose to ghost this man. I'm sure he was frustrated, and I'm sure I could have thought of a million things to call Jules and her dogs besides mutts. So shame on you, J is for Justice. Maybe get something out of your mouth that's been in there way too long. That's what I would say to you, just to say. So it's very upsetting to see these comments come from creators that used to have integrity and stuff like that. But, again, we're moving our channel away from this crap and nonsense. We have the blinders taken off of our face. We know that when somebody gets their feelings hurt here on the streets of YouTube, that they decide to attack an innocent man because of their hurt feelings with bullshit and untruths from channels that have hundreds of thousands of people. Shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. The good news is I am not beholden to them or their nonsense, because I'm Bullhorn Betty and I have well over her subs. And I'm going to use my platforms to expose this. And it's not really exposing because they're doing it themselves, right? So it's just taking their words and putting it on different platforms so people can truly see who they are. And believe me, I will say this again. I will make sure for these people that have decided to take this narrative and run with it, this untrue narrative, and run with it, knowing, intentionally inflicting additional distress upon this man, intentional, knowing and willfully knowing that those are lies and manipulation to alter their own audience, is shameful. Absolutely shameful. Now, I have no problem with Jules, but I call dogs mutts here and there all the time. Does it mean that I don't want a family member found? Seems to be insightful language. Insightful language. Shame on all of them. But she didn't know. I knew. Well, girlfriend, I knew a long time ago about you. I kept my mouth shut because I have integrity. But let me tell you, people with skeletons in their closet are one of the first people to try to show everybody else's skeletons. Just saying. Just saying. All right, so we have a body there. This is over in the Nashville area. Many of us are familiar with the Cumberland River. The Cumberland River is where Riley Strain was pulled out of. Okay, the Cumberland River was where Riley Strain was pulled out of, and Riley Strain was one of several bodies that were pulled from that river during our search for Riley Strain. That was when many of us first realized how dangerous the area is around Nashville, that people can get drunk and fall into the water. They have no safety barriers there. I think Nashville, downtown Nashville, is liable to these people financially for their inability to constantly be pulling people out of the rivers and making no corrections to make sure those bodies don't get introduced to those rivers. Now, I mean, you're talking about over 10 bodies, at least, in the last year pulled out of that river. And God knows what it was for the years before that and the years before that. That right there is their failure to protect their citizens. They are financially responsible for that. They are financially responsible for that. And now we have another body yet in the river. So at this point, I think it's time for Nashville in the state of Tennessee to pony up money to put a fence around that water so people can quit getting introduced into it when they go and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to visit that area. They expect to be able to do stupid shit and be safe. Okay? So this is becoming a problem. Now, is this person related to Sebastian? I think that's the concern of everybody. You know, we obviously have a missing boy and we have a floating body. As always, the chances of this floating body being associated with Sebastian Rogers at this point is probably inaccurate. It most likely is not Sebastian. Here's why I'm going to tell you that. Because the way anatomy works and your body works, he would have been most likely floating months ago. You know, probably 2 weeks after he was introduced and lost his life in the water or waterway, we could expect him to be buoyant and come to the top. Okay? That has not happened anywhere in Tennessee. So that leads to believe one of two things. He's either in the water and hooked to something that's keeping his body from coming to the surface, or he's on the surface and has not yet been found, where he's literally on top of the ground. Now, there is the third option. And the third, well, there's more than third option, but third probable option, the one that makes most sense, is there is a 17-hour window. Could he be buried under the ground? A lot of people know that Chris works at the hospital and he's a tower crane operator. And a lot of people are talking about concrete. There is no evidence that there was any concrete poured in and around the time that Sebastian went missing. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying personally, I have yet to hear that any concrete was poured that day. Just because you're on a construction site doesn't mean that because there are, you know, let me put this in perspective. There's a construction site, but just because people have concrete there doesn't mean that concrete was poured on that day. You have to, the concrete sets within 24 hours. Okay. So you have a 24-hour window, 24-hour window. What does Jenny say? Quit blaming. Why would you write quit blaming? Quit blaming what? Quit blaming what? Quit blaming idiots here on YouTube? No, I will not do that. I'm not equipped like that. Quit blaming what? Are you talking about my opinion? Are you trying to control what's coming out of my mouth? I'm trying to understand. But I'll give you an opportunity to respond. But that's pretty childish, stupid, and ignorant just to say quit blaming. Quit blaming what? Quit blaming what? If that wasn't meant for me and I'm getting a little snarky, well, I do apologize. But, you know, you're coming into my chat. I don't go into other people's chats. So I call people that sit here and incite or gaslight idiots. But we know that Jennifer Janello, right, is not really your name. Because nobody in their right mind would be this stupid and ignorant to come into somebody's chat with their real name. But we don't have children here. I bet you this lady here is probably a 65-year-old woman, just to let you know. Because that's what statistics tell me she is, acting like this. Just to let you know. This is what we deal with. I don't deal with any of this garbage over on TikTok. The mental insanity is over here on YouTube. Oh, good morning, Jen. Yes, thank you for reminding us. Please don't engage in trolls. You guys have the ability to block these people yourselves. All you do is go over to their little circle, hit their circle, and hit the block button. And you can block anything that they say. You won't even ever have to see it. That's the easiest way to do it, because there may be some things that are insulting to you that aren't insulting to other people. And so we're not going to block, people's opinions, but we block nastiness. That comment there, even though it had no cuss words, was nasty. So they would probably be removed. I'm not going to keep it up there because I want people to see how childish, stupid idiots are. But either way, are you... What qualifications do you have, youngin? I bet you're a 65-year-old bitter woman, and you're sitting there saying this stuff, knowing that I am perfectly capable of analyzing you. And you come with this BS because you're an idiot. Go clip it. Block this bitch. I'm tired of these people in my chat. Grow up. For the love of Christ, grow up. We have bigger things than your petty bullshit. You're an idiot. A childish idiot that hides behind a stupid name. Good gracious. Somebody block that woman. Nobody deserves to have to deal with this crap from these children on here. That was my theory at the beginning, only because he commented on Facebook post and wrote very detailed statement about how you would put someone in concrete. Well, it sounds like he might have thought about it. I'm telling you, I just don't think I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think they were pouring concrete that day. But you know what? We don't like Chris, and we know Chris has probably sat there and fantasized about this for a long time. And he does not like this kid. He may have liked him at the beginning, but as he got older and he started making, changes and going through body changes and puberty and stuff like that, nobody was prepared for it, because this kid does not understand what's going on with his body. And it's probably new to him. And I don't want to, I don't even want to think about that, but it's he doesn't understand. And I feel like he was like, Chris is such a meathead that anybody that's not a hard, manly man is not worth their salt. He looked upon Sebastian horribly because he wasn't like him, which nobody should be like Chris. Chris is a piece of shit. His attitude, his demeanor, just who he is as a person is a rotten piece of shit. And that's what I truly believe. He whether he's done anything bad or not, I can tell you his person, I don't like him. I don't like who he is as a person. Removing this situation, I think he's a total jerk. But does jerks kill people? That's where we're at. And I don't know. I honestly believe he was on the phone with the whole story with his wife, this phone, this whole 3 hour, none of it makes sense. I have listened to enough changes in that. None of it makes sense. It seems like they're trying to make it make sense as to why they were having such a long conversation. And it's also leading me to believe that they don't normally or customarily have these conversations, which was another key factor. But based upon this whole situation and listening to this sector over and over again, they never state anywhere at any time that this is a common practice where they do this often. That this is what they do every night or every Sunday or every other day or anything like that. It was just this one and done particular situation. And it just happens to be the same day that Sebastian disappears forever. So, we're building the blocks here. The blocks are being built against Katie. They're not even being built against Chris right now. Chris is covering Katie's butt. Something happened in that house. Now, somebody brought up something. And this might be true. This might be true. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. So what might be true is, let me go ahead. I'm going to ban these people. I'm going to go ahead and move this up to 20 minutes. I'm tired of these idiots. If anybody comes in here, guys, we're having a zero tolerance policy until this is under control. I want everybody that's in here distracting blocked. They can set up new accounts if they want to. If they want to waste the time to do that, they can do that. Anybody that's in here causing problems, I want them blocked. Zero policy, zero tolerance policy. I don't need to put up with this, and neither does my audience. So what I was trying to get at is somebody was saying, and this might be true because we've seen it happen. where Katie went and picked up Chris, or Chris's mom went to pick up Chris to leave his truck at the camper. We know that Katie has went out there and picked up Chris and brought him wherever, whether they're staying at the house or another place, and left his truck there so everybody thinks that he was still at his trailer or his camper. We have seen them do that since this. Oh, thank you, Turtle Gang. God bless you. God bless you. So, is that possible? Could he have been home? And my answer would normally be yes, but you know what? I don't see Chris missing out on a steak dinner. I really don't. I don't see Chris missing out on going to the Texas Roadhouse. They have cocktails, they have steaks, they have potatoes. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would want to just hang out at home and do nothing while everybody else went around about their day. It just for me personally, I would assume personally that he was most likely not home. So now that we apply that, I believe he wasn't home. Now, you guys know I once did believe he was home. You know, I believed he was lying about that because I believed he did something to Sebastian. It was hard for me to believe that Katie did. I believe Katie was this abused woman that was under Chris's control. I totally do not believe that anymore. I believe Katie has a lot of problems. I believe she has a short fuse demeanor. I believe she drinks entirely too much. And I believe that she was either under the influence of alcohol when this transpired or something else. And I think she lost her cool because Sebastian wouldn't calm down and they got into an altercation. She either just lost it or she shoved him and hurt him so bad that she couldn't help him. But I do not believe it was a medication, over-medicated, because I just feel like if it was an over-medicated situation, she would have called 911. But I don't believe she would have called 911 if it was clear that this was not an accident, that something else happened. And so that's kind of where I'm at. My computer is so finicky, it's not even funny anymore. It really is. Sorry. I wanted to share the pulled body video out to you guys. So give me just a second. It's going to.
Joining here at 10 o'clock. We begin with the body pulled from the Cumberland River this afternoon. The Nashville Fire Department tells us someone called 911 and reported seeing a floating body. Officials say they went to the river, but due to weather conditions, the body kept moving. That's when other agencies arrived and they were able to pull that body from the water. Witnesses tell us what they experienced firsthand.
But we see the boat, it's kind of sprawled out, kind of right next to his hands and legs were all like kind of sprawled like a star shape. Like I said, it was a very shocking experience. It was very crazy, and it was a very interesting thing.
We'll stay on top of the story and bring you more starting tomorrow morning on News 4 Today.
So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because, to be honest with you, that nobody knows who it is. But it sounds like this is an adult. And I get it, even though the kid didn't say that. I can't imagine being that kid. That kid reminds me of like a California surfer or something, like Tubular. I don't know. Not to mock him or anything like that, but just the way he talked. I can't imagine seeing this. That had to have been a shocking experience for him to see something like that. But the way he was describing it, he was describing an adult male, in my opinion. Even though he didn't say it, that seems to me what he was describing, as opposed to a juvenile. We don't know, but based upon everything we do know of this area and the Riley Strain case, it's most likely somebody that got intoxicated and probably entered the water. But these areas are starting to be, a lot of people are starting to really, focus on this because there has been a lot, it's predominantly men as opposed to women. this has been happening not just in the Nashville area, but there's other areas that these men in the same age group are winding up in bodies of water. Lady Bird Lake is a great example where many people think that there is a serial killer out there targeting these young drunk men for a variety of reasons, whether it's to rob them or maybe it's just out of seeing if he can. But there's been a lot of talk about that. And every time we're in these areas, they keep pulling more and more bodies out of these areas, and they're unexplained. They just, oh, well, they must have drowned. They just fell in. Really? 20 bodies? Just fell into the water, huh? Nope. Just got drunk and fell into the water. They just wanted their sea legs. It's weird to me. It's too many. That's the problem. It's too many for me. It's too many for me. Yes, the smiley face killer. There's just a lot of, stuff going on in these lakes. And I think we need to be cognizant. If you guys do go to areas and you are there visiting alone or even a group, just be careful of your, I want everybody obviously to have fun, but obviously you become prey to people when you become overly intoxicated. Okay. And you're alone. And women, like, don't even think about getting intoxicated alone in an unknown area to you. That is one of the, it's a very poor decision. Okay. It's a very, very poor decision. I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself. I'm just saying handle yourself responsibly. You don't want to lower your inabilities so much that you can't protect yourself when you're by yourself. So just be careful, guys. That's all I want from you. But the whole purpose of this, I'm not opening up the phone lines, and I have a lot of work to do today. I'm almost done with it. I most likely will come back this afternoon because I'm getting to the point where I think I just need to step away. I need to proofread, step away, and then file. So I think today is going to be the last day for everything that I got to do me personally with my paperwork. And then I'll be back here with more of a in-tuned discussion on Sebastian Rogers. But right now, I did want to go over a couple things. Many of you know that I have been studying this case extensively for a significant number of months. I mean, we're already past the 3rd month mark. And there's been a lot of information, people's perspective, and I'm actually reading through all of those perspectives now. We've already talked about a lot of emails. Well, my emails have enhanced quite a bit since this, us talking about this case here in the last few weeks and really honing in on specific issues. So it's taking me a little longer to get through the emails, but I'm trying to get through them and respond. And we will talk about one. Now, there are some that have come in that are fairly lengthy. And, and this is a shout out. I just wanted a public shout out to Cynthia. She knows which Cynthia it is for the beautiful letter and monetary. She sent me a letter and some help for the channel and stuff and the work that we do. So I just wanted to tell her, thank you so very much for that. That was definitely surprised to receive. But the letter almost means more. I mean, it really does. It was a sweet, kind letter. I don't know if I have her permission to read it, but it was sweet to me. And it really did brighten my day. So for Cynthia, thank you so much for that. I did want to say that to you personally. I just had forgotten to. So we have some people's thoughts. And I'm going to read this one to you. I'm not going to use the person's name. So I'll try to read ahead to make sure I don't disclose who this is. But this is a person from Gallatin, Tennessee that lives about 15 miles. And she wanted to share some information. And I don't know if I can share this. Am I allowed to share this? Hold on a second. Let me get to the bottom of it and see if I can share. Because I read this and now I don't remember if this helps. And it's explaining the double jeopardy stuff. So I think this would be good to read. She says, I'm going to share this information, trusting that if you use it, you will try to keep as much. Okay. Yeah. So You know what? Let me rewrite this so I can remove any possibility of somebody. It's a long-winded, but let me rewrite this to make sure that the person is completely anonymous. I'm scared I'm gonna forget and something is going to be read. So this is a gal from Idaho, and she said, just a thought. I believe KP took him out the back, handed him off to another person. That person drove him to CP. And nobody's on camera. Also, I don't know how it works in Tennessee, but I have 3 autistic kids in my family, and they all draw Social Security from disability. A reason not to want to give him up to his dad. My understanding is their income was entirely too high for them to receive the disability on there, and the disability is based upon the parent's disability when they're under the age of 18. But some people have said the parent has to be disabled in order for the child to collect that disability. And some people say they don't, that they can, or that they can just get regular disability, which is $930 something a month. But from my understanding, he didn't get that. I think he might've gotten some, I don't know what he was, because she did stop some of his benefits or something like that. I remember her saying she immediately called somewhere, but I don't know what that meant. I don't know what that meant. God bless you, Kelly. It's nice to see you, love bug. It's nice to see you. So that was one of the situations. Now, is that possible? Listen, I'm telling you, I think something was over there. I think something was over in the construction site. Guidance put together this overlay with the lights that we saw, and you can clearly see the light was moving. It wasn't a stationary light. It wasn't a solar disc light that was in the ground. It was not one of those lights. I mean, I couldn't tell what the light was, but I can tell you the light was moving. And if the light is moving, it's not on a stake in the ground. Okay. That's all I know. I don't know what the light was. I don't know if it was a flashlight. I don't know if it was a cell phone. I don't know what it was. I have no clue what it was. None whatsoever. Absolutely none. All I know is whatever it was moving. SSI is not disability. Well, yeah, I say the wrong alphabet soup, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. There's a disability. There's a gapping type of, if you're, there's regular disability and there's like a gap disability type of option. I don't know the names of them. I've been out of insurance for longer than I've been out of law. So I have no earthly idea what that, I can't remember. I mean, I can go look it up, but I'm not going to look at it. It doesn't really matter to me. But I've always maintained that I thought something was over there. And I remember looking at this and going through the light source with my mod squad. And I remember looking at it and I remember bringing it up that I thought it could possibly be floodlights. And so people kind of jumped on. Oh, thank you, Turtle Gang. God bless you. God bless you. If you guys received your gifted Bullhorn Betty memberships, don't forget to tell Turtle Gang thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. I also believe, because after looking at it and realizing, because I was driving at night, and I don't know why I wasn't thinking about this, but all of the new vehicles this day and age have LED lighting. It's a brighter light that pulls less voltage or amperage or whatever it is, okay? And it's a clearer, whiter light, brighter light. And so this day and age, that's why whenever you're driving down the road, nowadays, whenever you're driving, sometimes it seems like they have their brights on when you're driving at night. Have you guys noticed that? Where it kind of lights up the entire road this day and age, as opposed to our old yellow lights that only had 25 feet in front of us, And so I'm thinking that these new cars have these brighter headlights and headlamps on them. Is it possible that somebody was over in that construction site and turned their lights on and turn their lights off to indicate, hey, we're here. It's time to come. So there was a bright kind of light that looked like floodlights. Was that a vehicle? Because after that, you kind of see these light sources moving. So I'm thinking somebody indicated, I'm here. It's time to come on. And whatever needed to be moved was moved. And it was so pitch black dark out there, they couldn't see what they were doing because it was dark. And so they had to have some type of light to help them get to, so they didn't fall or drop anything or anything like that. I'm curious if those cameras, when she was trying to find her son, I wonder if she ever went back out there to make sure nothing fell from her back door to that construction site, and maybe picked that up and met Kathy to drop that off because she needed it out of her house. Because we hear through rumor, it's not corroborated, it's not confirmed. I can't tell you whether it's true or untrue, but we've heard it from enough people to believe that it appears that Kathy Bowersock's vehicle was seen near Sebastian's school at a ridiculous time of the morning, which was unnormal and uncustomary to Kathy's behavior. So why was she there? The only reason why she would be there would be to hand off something. If they couldn't if Sebastian was taken care of the night before, that means some evidence was left behind that needed to get out of the house. If that is true, if it's true, we don't know if it's true yet. It's only if it's true. So, and I also had the theory that video footage was one-sided. Like, we didn't see earlier in the day or later in the day. We only saw that one clip of the light source. It appears that the light sources are going towards the construction site. But it is possible that they were coming back. Have you ever watched a wheel on a car when you're driving down the road and you stare at it? It looks like it's rolling backwards, but it's rolling forwards. It's because of the way the spokes are. I keep wondering if it's something like that, where it looks like the light's actually going toward the construction site, but it's actually, going back to the house. Not true about Katie at the school. How do you know? Because I'm saying I don't know if it's true or not, and you're acting like you know for a 100% certainty. How do you know that? Where's your receipts? Because I can't tell one way or the other. Just saying. This is where misinformation comes from, Morning Ray. I mean, not to call you out or anything, but this is where misinformation comes. What you should have probably said is that it is my opinion, or that, some other creator had stated this and may not be true, but to come in here and say that it's absolutely untrue about Katie at the school. I disagree, or Kathy at the school. I disagree because we haven't been able, there's been 3 people that came forward about that. Did you know that? 3. Not 1, 3. Yeah, they do know, but you're not LE, and you're in my chat saying that this is untrue as a statement of fact. And your statement is absolutely 100% false. So, that's the problem, is people come in and spread misinformation. And see, most people would probably dive right into that. But see, I'm intimately knowledgeable about this case. So when people come into my chat, I can challenge them on the facts, which upset them, of course. It was discussed to death. It was discussed to death a month ago. So because it was discussed to death a month ago, it's untrue. But you have no receipts because people discussed it and provided their opinion. You're not taking their opinion and making it fact and perpetrating that across in people's channels and chats. It wasn't discussed to death. And if you were watching it and discussing it to death, we have all been waiting for the findings since you know so much. And since you've watched this, we've been sitting here waiting for the findings. Nobody has provided us the findings, not even the lady that brought up that she was going to go check the trail cams. So no, you are absolutely 100% false in your reporting on my channel. And I would ask that you refrain from doing so. And I understand it's never right to be wrong, but you're wrong on this because nobody knows whether it's true or not. We have multiple witnesses that put her vehicle there. Period. Not one, multiple. Multiple. And you're in my chat saying it's untrue. And let me guess, where are you located? And what intimate knowledge do you have? I have receipts saying that your information is not accurate. Yes, because I said nobody knows the truth. So yes, those are my receipts because nobody knows the truth. And I actually asked you to produce your receipts showing that yours is fact. And you cannot do it. You're in here talking shit in my channel. And you're sitting here taking the focus away from Sebastian on your petty BS that you know nothing about. And I understand you think you do. I get it. So now I've got to why don't you open your ears and go over to that Facebook page and go find your sources yourself like I had to do? Why am I going to hand you my work? Or you can go back and do your due diligence on my channels because I got a lot of videos covering this. So either do your due diligence properly, but do not come into my chat providing false information in my chat. The bottom line is multiple people saw Kathy's car there, and it has not been a corroborated sighting. Law enforcement has not come out to tell us whether or not that vehicle was there. There's enough people to support that it is possible that it was there. You're coming in here saying that that is all a lie, and you are lying by saying that. Because there is no support one way or the other. One way or the other. There's no evidence one way or the other. It was alleged. You have no receipts. I have no receipts. All we have is 3 people saying that they saw the same thing. That's it. That's it. Again, I would suggest you reach out to the family and do your fact finding. Okay? Don't you think if it didn't go to the heart and integrity of the investigation, don't you think I would willfully provide those names to you, dum-dum? What do you think I'm going to do? Give you their names so you can go over and harass them? Okay. Yeah, that's what I do. Good gracious. Do your own due diligence. They're there, honey. Go search for them. I know who they are. Go find them. You know what the first thing you do? Maybe quit being such a dick and pick up the phone and call Tony. Maybe he'll help you. Just saying. Just saying. But I'm pretty sure you probably wouldn't know how to act or be respectful to somebody, in my opinion, because you're here jacking up my channel over something stupid. If you don't believe it, don't believe it. I don't care. I'm no longer going to address you. If you want information, go find it. But I told you where you can go get it. Okay? I told you where you can go get it. My first suggestion would be go to the, well, I'm not even going to promote that because that's where it was, is over there because that's who was talking about it. And then the next thing, you can reach out to Tony Mathis, the spokesperson for Seth Rogers, and speak to him. And I'm sure he will advise you. I don't think he'll give you names, but he'll advise you of what he has. That would be my suggestion. But you're not gonna force me to give up my sources or my information. If you don't believe me, don't believe me. I don't really care. I'm telling you, there are multiple people that saw that sighting. Period. They like to, I know they do, but I like to address it because I'm sick and tired of people peddling around BS. And then when you challenge them, they want to start insulting you. She was wrong. She knows she's wrong. She's in here still stirring up stuff. The bottom line is there are multiple people saw what they appear and believe to be Kathy. Is it Kathy? I don't know, and neither does anybody else. Period. That's fact. I love starting my day with well, it's just like, that person was in here trying to raise my skirt. Well, I wasn't letting my skirt get raised. I was going to have a conversation with them. And they pissed me off, so I was going to make sure my voice was heard. This channel says Bullhorn Betty. This voice is the only one that matters. I'm just joking. Don't worry, they'll clip that. What you bet I'll be on the next hate channel. Betty says her voice is the only one that matters. so sick of it. I don't care anymore. I can't believe the stupidity of people to watch that shit over and over and over and over and over again. It's funny that they find so much entertainment in my very, very, very boring life. But hey, I guess I should live vicariously through them because, man, I'm a much ballsier and crazier person in their viewpoint than I am in life. I mean, I feel like I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof according to them. I like their vision of me. Let me get my Superman cape. Let me get my Superman cape because I'm telling you, I got it. Apparently, I got it all. Yeah. So that is true, though. The Kathy Bowersox, like I said, has been alleged to have been seen over by Worshams by multiple people. And even when the lady said that she was going to go check those trail cams because she talked to the person on the land and they had a trail cam that was pointed that way, we never heard from her again. And she said she would come out whether she found something or not, and we never heard from her again, whether she found anything. And that was telling to me because I know that woman was hell-bent and determined to go get those cameras, and I bet you she turned it over to law enforcement. I bet you anything she turned whatever she found over to law enforcement. So law enforcement has been tight and close to the chest and tight-lipped related to this case. And if you understand the policies, procedures, and protocols of law enforcement, that tells you they are in the midst of a major investigation. That action indicates that they are in the midst of a major investigation. Did they say that they were? Well, I think they did. They didn't want to tell us, but they had to tell us something because people were requesting stuff that they were saying they couldn't release due to the criminal investigation, right? And they don't like putting the criminal in front of that investigation, but it is a criminal investigation. They're not required to tell us it's a criminal investigation. They're only required to follow the policies and procedures associated with the criminal investigation, which in my opinion, that's exactly what they're doing. And I can tell you with the statements that Chris and Katie have made throughout their interviews, it sounds like law enforcement has challenged them multiple times on their story. That's problematic for me because you're like, oh yeah, we talked to the officer and we had to clear that up. Yep, we had to talk to the officer, clear that up. You know, you're always hearing these little things. Yep, we talked to them about it. We explained it to them, right? You guys hear them always saying that? That's them challenging. That's law enforcement challenging them on their facts when you hear them say stuff like that. So now if you go back to these interviews and you hear them, then you know that law enforcement is challenging. These are interrogative questions. Law enforcement has not told us anything. Has forensics been done? I even had to walk my statement about forensics being done. I have to walk that back a tad bit. And here's why. Because we don't know what they've done since we've been gone. And there's been very limited neighbor communication. So basically all of the creators that had a lot of neighbor communication, that has stopped. So nobody's getting the information. So if nobody's getting the information in, then the chances of us finding out whether patrol cars are in front of their house is going, because I can see that their news is controlled. So whoever runs the news organizations there, they will not allow them to run stories if it's going to, I don't know if they'll tell the public that the house was, was forensically searched. I don't have the trust in mainstream media in that area to believe that they would be telling us that. They might, I don't know. For me personally, my personal opinion is I don't trust them until they prove that I can. And so far I was trusting Nick, but now it seems like Nick is used that as an opportunity to be the only spokesperson for the law enforcement. So now that he's be kind of this deemed spokesperson for law enforcement, I have to be very cautious about what he says because now he's working for them and not for us. That's the way I look at it. And so I have to listen to his word salad and decipher his word salad. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I don't know if neighbors or media would tell us that they had forensics in their house. and we're not there, so I can't tell you. I know what a forensic search looks like. I've seen enough of them to know exactly the methods that are used. I can tell you the minute that the forensic team shows up, as soon as they start pulling stuff out of their vehicle, I can tell you that this is the forensic team. And I didn't see that. I haven't seen that. There was one time there was two unmarked white vehicles and an SUV. And I've always wondered, everybody kept saying those are Brinks vehicles. Those are Brinks vehicles. But I've always wondered if that was a crew to go in there and do forensics on just Sebastian's room. But I can't prove it. I don't know whose vans those were. So I have to, apply that logic as well, that there is a possibility at this point, since we haven't heard from law enforcement in 60 days, that forensics may have been conducted on the property. So I have to walk that back, because we are flying blind when it comes to that. 60 days ago, I could say that confidently. But this day and age, I can't, because I don't know what law enforcement has done. So we may have to consider, removing that law enforcement hasn't done forensics, because it is possible that they have at this point. I'd like clarification from Nick Barris, because Nick Barris does have the ends to him, and he's kind of taken the forefront as being the spokesperson for Sumner County Police. So if you guys are over there on Nick Barris, maybe ask him, can you ask law enforcement, have they ever conducted forensic testing on house, camper, or vehicles? And or if they did one and not the other, I'm fine. Just and or the house, the camper, and or vehicles. That's what I would like to know. So that's kind of where I'm at. I need to get back to my work. I needed a break to see all your smiling faces and to argue with a few idiots. Kind of gives me my juice to empower me for the day. We've got a lot to go over. I'm going to keep an eye on this body. I can tell you that everybody under the sun has been making sure that they're sending me all this information. And I thank you for that. I'd rather have 15 emails of the same thing than no emails of breaking information. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for every single one of you guys that sent me immediately videos, articles, everything that needed to know that there was a body in the Cumberland River that we needed to start, diverting some attention to see what's going on over there. I will keep you guys, as soon as we know who it is. Obviously, somebody's missing a loved one, which is really, really sad. So no matter how we look at this situation, we need to say a prayer for whoever they pulled out of that river and their family. I'm sure that this is going to be a very hard day for some unlucky family. And no matter what that person's walk of life is, whether they were on Skid Row or they were just there having a good time, they didn't deserve this. And I can guarantee you somebody loved them somewhere. And they are going to be missed by somebody. And that's what's really sad about it. So, all right, guys, God bless. We're still searching for Sebastian Rogers. Again, 15-year-old missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. If you know anything about him, anything about his case, have any firsthand knowledge or evidence that can help lead to his whereabouts, you're asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND, 1-800-TBI-FIND. There's also a flyer. I wish I had the information, because it's going to kind of sound stupid the way I'm about to say it. But there's also an anonymous tip line that you guys can call or text or email. But I don't know what it is. So if you want to be anonymous, there is an anonymous line. If one of my mods may have the anonymous email or a text line or whatever, we'll start throwing it into the chat. But anybody with any information that may know where Sebastian Rogers is, I pray to God that people on social media start acting right, because this is a boy that deserves justice. He deserves to have his face plastered literally as far and wide as possible. And for anybody that tried to hinder that is really, there's just a special place in hell for people like that, in my opinion. This boy needs help. His family needs help. No matter how we feel about one side or the other, it doesn't matter my feelings. It's not stopping me from helping. And I hope it doesn't stop the rest of the world from helping, because this boy needs it. He was already an underdog coming into this world. And he was snuffed out most likely by his mother. And it really pisses me off. Okay. And my level of patience with the nonsense, the bull crap, and the pettiness is at its all-time high. Like, I don't give up. If you don't want to be cussed out by Bullhorn Betty, then don't bring it to my front door. Because literally my level of giving a crap about people's feelings at this point is over. It literally is over. If you have nothing to contribute to Sebastian's army, trying to find him, trying to advocate for him, trying to promote him, I want nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing. If you want to keep going down the realm of beating up his father, which we know did not have anything to do with this, you will have to deal with Bullhorn Betty. And trust me, I have no problem putting my reputation. I have no problem jeopardizing my channel. I have no problem losing subscribers to come after people that are doing wrong. I do it lawfully and legally. I don't do some of this bullshit that these people here on these streets do, the unlawful crap. But don't think that your skeletons in your closet will not be front page news on my channel. And I got a lot of dirty information about a lot of nasty bitches on here that can't keep their freaking legs closed. Or their mouths, for that matter. And that's pretty embarrassing. Especially when you bring it to my front door. That makes it part of my story. And I can speak it. Just FYI. You guys know I'll do it. I don't want to. But I will. Big difference. This father did not do anything. Everybody here needs to be getting focused on Sebastian. Wherever your information leads your case in Sebastian, follow your leads. If they lead to the front doorstep of Seth, then talk to him about it. Then bring your information to the world and show it like we've been showing for Katie and Chris, if that's where your investigation leads you. But having these narrative-driven bullcrap posts about this man doesn't want to find his kid because he called some dog's mutts is ridiculous and stupid, childish, and petty. And not something I would expect from a professional on these streets. But there is a narrative driven from a loyalty that you shouldn't have. Just saying. But hey, I don't know what I'm talking about, do I? And many of you probably don't either. But you know when I talk like this, the person I'm talking to knows exactly who I'm talking to. All right, guys, God bless. Go rock it out with your coffee beans out. But I'm telling you, let's focus this back on Sebastian. Sebastian is a beautiful boy that was an underdog that deserves to be found. He deserves, his father deserves to know what happened to him. His father deserves to know what happened to him. Unfortunately, we can't find that without making this totally public. Okay? Unfortunately, this is how the system works. We can't advocate for this boy without advocating for this boy. So he has to be center of attention. Not me, not his father, not the Proudfoots, Sebastian. Do all of those things equate? Does his father have some information that could lead? Yes. Does his mom have some information that could lead to him? Yes. Does Chris have some information? Yes. They all have some information. Just like all of us in our families, we all have some information. If somebody disappeared tomorrow, we all have some information that could lead to the findings of that person. But other than having some information, was he a direct result? And the answer is a big old fat no. And anybody driving the narrative that he is, or he doesn't want to find his son when he's sitting in an empty house crying every night, you're a fucking pig. Wash your freaking hair. God bless. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public. and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.